You ready?
No.
Okay, here we go.
Womp womp. Blah, blah, blah,
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steven. This is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, playing, reviewing, playing again podcast.
That's right. We play them twice.
Yeah. We're playing all the hits at the top and the bottom.
Yeah. Frontwards and backwards. So anyways, this first listing was sent to us by Justin Jolkowski.
Yeah. This is a lot number 278 vintage Gibson Challenger electric guitar with case.
Ever seen one of these?
I have seen these, but I've not seen one that looked like this.
All right.
So maybe I haven't seen one of these.
These came out in the same line as the Corvus and
yeah. And
what was the other one?
The Sonics.
The Sonics, yeah.
Right?
No, maybe around the same era. Yeah, because it's a bolt-on neck Gibson.
Yeah.
From that era. There was something else other than I can't remember.
The Marauder.
I want to say that this line was like a previous or a following year than the Marauder.
Is it the L? Are you thinking of the L5?
Maybe. I don't know.
Or no, sorry, L6. Is it L6?
I don't know.
L6?
I'm trying to remember something and my brain's not clicking, so let's not worry about it.
Well, this was sent by Justin Jolkowski, right?
Mm-hmm. I included a photo of a stock one as the last photo in the folder here, Steve. As you can tell, the one that we're looking at has a lipstick pickup in the neck position, which is not stock, as well as some extra little switches down there, and some aftermarket knobs, I'm assuming. And possibly it's been definished.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, no, definitely has been definished.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's been removed of all of its clear coat on the back of the neck as well, not just on the body. But these are interesting. What did the guy want for it? Was there? I thought I put a description.
There was
in
a price for $600, but I don't see any sort of description.
Unsupported file type. That's what's going on. But it's a JPEG.
Every once in a while, drive glitches.
Thanks a lot, Google.
But I don't know.
There it is. They want 600 USD for it.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any other description. It's just
no, there wasn't, because it was Goodwill.
Yeah, so this is a Gibson Challenger. It's got a lipstick pickup, like a Dan Electro style pickup in the neck.
It actually looks bigger. I don't. Yeah, that looks
that's bigger.
That looks like the lipsticks that are in that Ibanez made guitar that I have, the Starfield, where they're bigger than a Dan Electro.
Right. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I think it's something else. Unless it's an original Dan Electro or something. I don't know. You know what, guys? Peek behind the curtain. We don't usually record on a Friday, but that's what we're doing. We're squeezing in an extra recording date so we can have an episode to publish after NAMM, because NAMM is the week after us recording this. I can't speak for Steve, but my mind is cooked right now. The week has just taken it out of me.
It's been a tough week.
So
I can see. So there is so this was probably a Challenger 1. Right. There was also a Challenger 2, which is a 2 pickup.
The Challenger 2 had the humbucker in the neck as well. And then I don't believe there was a Challenger 3, but there was a version of this that had a traditional tune-o-matic. And I forget what they called it. That's what I was trying to remember earlier.
But it's not the Marauder.
It's not the Marauder, because the Marauder has the Flying V headstock.
Oh, you're right.
And the Sonics does too as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, here's a great source for information, maybe. Oh,
if you go to Trogley?
This link to Trogley's website didn't work.
I told you to never go to Trogley. We make our own content here. But I did. Don't try to learn everything. Get on the eBay and find out what these are going for. They want $600 for this thing. Well, actually, that's the price realized. This thing sold.
Yeah. What does realized mean? Is that the sold price?
I think that's the sold price.
There's one on Reverb right now, a Challenger 2 for $900. That's a local pickup.
How much for a 1?
I don't know.
Because that's what we have here, a modified 1.
There are no 1s. It's super rare.
It can't be.
It's so rare, Ryan. Let's see if we can find a sold listing.
These are funny though because the ones and the twos have the same pick guard. So like the ones have a pick guard that clearly looks like it wants to have a neck humbucker in it.
Yeah.
And they just never cut it and didn't put a humbucker in there. So it's like you've got to install your own neck pickup situation.
Here's a Challenger 1, and it's got a string butler. It's $600 plus shipping.
Does it have its original finish?
It looks like it. It's some kind of cream.
Yeah. How did this thing go for $600?
They are pretty. Oh, you know what? That might be the original finish because here's one that looks like.
But this looks like it's
looks like it's still been stripped, right?
Yeah.
So even though this one is natural, like this is a glossy natural.
The gloss is off the back of the neck as well.
Yeah.
It's got that gunstock thing going on the whole body.
This is a Challenger 2 that sold for $490.
Wow.
9 years ago.
Why did this go for $600?
I don't know, man.
And it's got that funny Gibson headstock that doesn't have the book scroll. It just has the camel hump in the middle.
Right. It looks like typically these are going around $700, $800 right now.
All right, but you're seeing a few exceptions.
I've seen some older ones. Here's one from 4 months ago. Oh, it doesn't have any of the electronics. $500.
I wonder what these play like. I can't imagine they play really any better than a modern bolt-on and Epiphone. Like it says Gibson on the headstock, but it's a bolt-on neck, wrap-around bridge.
I always thought, because I forget if it's the Sonics or the Marauder that's also bolt-on. I always thought those looked really cool, but everyone I've ever talked to was like, dude, they suck. They're not good.
This looks like an SL. This is a Gibson SL.
It kind of is.
Yeah, it does. Like this one has a neck single coil.
Epiphone should relaunch the Challenger. They should relaunch that whole line. Let's be honest.
Like the Sonics, the Corvus, the Challenger, the one I can't remember the name of. Yeah. It's like the Excelsior, Exceders. I don't know. Like it's not the Excelsior, but it's something. The Explorer. No, they already have an Explorer. I can't remember. It's on the tip of my brain. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know that I'm interested in these. I kind of admire the funky pickguard situation. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll run into one used somewhere and I'll pick it up and I'll fall in love. I'll be finally the Gibson for me.
There was a Challenger 3.
Oh, look at that.
It's a 3 single coil pickup.
It does exist.
So I don't know if that's what you were thinking of, is an actual Challenger 3?
No, it was. I was thinking of something else.
What kind of because this is the Sonics. That's a Sonics.
But the Sonics
Sonics is basically like a flat top Les Paul. Marauder.
But the Sonics has the Flying V headstock, doesn't it?
I don't know.
You don't see pictures in that one for it.
Let's see if we can find a picture. Nope. It's got the Gibson headstock.
But it has the Gibson headstock. Maybe I'm imagining a guitar that never existed.
The Victory, the Firebrand.
Well, that's
it.
They re-released the Victory.
Yeah.
This sort of stuff should be next. The Sonics, the Marauder, the Corvus, but they should make the Corvus an actual headless.
None of them should be over like 1,200. They should.
Yeah.
They should all be like.
You know what? They should be free.
Finishes.
They should be free.
Yeah. Gibson, sell guitars for free.
Don't sell them. That doesn't make any sense. People have to pay tax on zero, and it'll break the computer.
Give them away.
Just give them away.
Give it away.
Yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers style. Was that Red Hot? It was Red Hot Chili Peppers, right? Give it away now?
Yeah.
It had to be. That's how fried my brain is right now. I can't remember.
Yeah, anchors away.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers. All right, thank you, Justin, for sending that rough start. Oh, man, my body is like cramping up anticipating NAMM, and you can hear it in this very episode.
I
feel afraid. I know everyone's listening to this like the day after NAMM or maybe even the week after NAMM, depending on when you publish this.
Sure.
But like I'm feeling like I am bracing for my body to be wrecked.
Well, I saw your post on Threads where you're like, I'm both like what did you say? Like I'm both super looking forward to NAMM and also really ready for NAMM to be over.
I can't wait for it to be over. Like I can't wait to see people and hang out with people and to see all the stuff that's there. I'm already ready to sit down on my couch or lay down on my bed and not hear the noise and not be walking, and be sleeping regular amounts of time and having regular meals and stuff like that. Like I've become old. In the past year, I've become old, and my body doesn't feel ready for it.
You don't think 2 pieces of toast for breakfast? Actually, we did pretty good for breakfast last year.
I plan on sleeping in this year.
Food court slice of pizza or hot dog.
Oh my gosh, the food court at NAM is.
And then what?
Let's not talk about NAM anymore because people are going to hear enough of it.
I know. Well, then, if we're not going to talk about that, which we won't.
That's what we should do post NAM, is we should just be the only guitar media outlet that doesn't talk about NAM, even though we owe Sweetwater a deliverable.
Yeah. Do we combine for one deliverable, or do we have to? Hopefully, we don't have to do separate deliverables. I assume it's per channel.
It's per channel.
Speaking of I don't know, man. I can't.
Deliverable sounds so official.
This is what I do.
It's not that
that's how we talk about it at work. Like, right. Ryan, what's the scope of work on the Sweetwater contract?
Oh my gosh. There's no contract.
What do we owe them? Speaking of things we owe to people, this episode's brought to you all by Stringjoy.
That's true, Steve.
We got a comment today that somebody said that they have never bought Stringjoy strings because they think the human baby teeth thing is really creepy and it actually turns them off from ever buying Stringjoy strings. So it is 2025. Maybe it's time to think of a new pitch for Stringjoy.
Stringjoy strings. Yeah. They make strings long enough for your guitar. Remember that one, Steve? We came up with that one 2 weeks ago.
I like that one.
Stringjoy strings. Finally, a string manufacturer that makes strings long enough for your guitar.
Perfect.
It implies that the other brands don't. That's called a unique selling proposition.
But it's only an implication, so we can't be held liable. If you want to go check out Stringjoy, go use the link down below. That way they know that we sent you, and use code HUM at checkout for 10% off?
Yeah.
And I think that might be first time only, but maybe it's not. Who knows?
You know, it was a full year ago at NAMM last year that we pitched the human baby teeth thing to Stringjoy, to Scott and to Blake. And we're like, are you guys cool with this? And they're like, yeah, run with it. So maybe we should ask permission
to do the strings long enough for your guitar.
Stringjoy strings. They make strings long enough for your guitar.
Yeah. Ryan, this past, I don't know, whatever of recording on January 14th, this article ran on metalsucks.net.
I saw everyone reposting this article for like 2 days straight, and they couldn't get enough of it. And here we are dragging it back out of the muck to talk about it.
Yeah. So here's a question I have for you.
I can't wait to give you the answer that I have for you.
Is Alice Cooper metal?
You know what? Like, metal is so stupid.
I know,
because if you go back far enough in time now to bands that were definitely metal, then current metal fans will be like, well, that's not really metal now. And like, what even is metal then? Is whatever you consider to be metal now? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Metal that was metal in the past is still metal. There's a case to be made that Alice Cooper was glam rock or shock rock or whatever. But come on, let's relax a little bit.
Let's relax a lot.
Yeah.
So basically, there's some during a recent interview in the January issue of Metal Hammer, Alice Cooper guitarist Nita Strauss. Jeez, I can't read.
I know.
Waded into that very issue, explaining that while it's great, fans of metal and rock are so passionate, their fervor can often come across incredibly negative the moment an artist decides to try something unorthodox. Quote, the thing about the rock and metal world, which I love and is my home, is that it's a bunch of whiny, complaining babies. If a band makes a slight departure from what they've done before, the fan base cries about it. Everything they're doing is terrible now. Metallica are the biggest band in the world, and people still shit on their new stuff.
I can't believe she used a curse.
Yeah,
Nita.
I think a big part of it is that it's because everybody feels like they have to protect our scene and keep it safe. No external people can get in,
right?
Which I think is crazy. If a pop artist wants to make a rock album, great. If a rock artist wants to make an R&B album, great. Music is for everyone. I will say, out the gate, a lot of genres are super gatekeepy. Like
every
the
genre.
Hardcore. I mean, was it I forget if it was last year or like 2 years ago now. I don't remember. Was when Beyonce put out her country album, and people like freaked out. And it's funny is I I'll just say, like, I'm kind of I don't gatekeep country. I don't care about country enough to gatekeep it. But I do tend to take more purist positions kind of as a joke. Like
well, you know what you like.
I grew up on like that late 80s, early 90s. So, you know, George Strait, Randy Travis, Garth Brooks, kind of Alan Jackson, early Toby Keith, like that era of country music, Reba.
There you go.
And so like, that's kind of like my thought about like what, and then the stuff before that, like the outlaw stuff, Johnny Cash, all that.
Sure.
Great. And all of the new country stuff, I'm just like, this is just twangy Nickelback.
Right.
Which is a very gatekeepy thing to say, but also
But also very correct.
I'm also like not interested in being like, Luke Bryan's not country. Like get the hell out of here, Luke Bryan.
The thing is because you like is country, but it sucks.
Yeah.
You know, like something can still be metal, but you don't like it. Like just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not real ska. You know, like
actually because you don't like it probably makes it
probably
real
is
ska.
real ska. Although like every now and then I'll hear someone call Sublime a ska band.
Yeah, everyone knows they're a reggae band.
I guess I'm a gatekeeper because I don't think about them that way at all. But like every genre suffers from this. Every fandom suffers from this. From people who are trying to protect something, and really they're just stifling it. Like you're not protecting it. You're not protecting the old stuff. The old stuff that you like is safe. It's secure. It's not going away. It already exists. And I will promise you that you don't actually want that same style of music to be made in the same way forever.
Right.
Because the luster wears off. The shine goes flat on you. It just becomes a caricature of itself. There's a reason why the cultural, like pop culture cycle lasts as long as it does, is because it hits a point where it gets dull. It's like, okay, we've all heard this for the past 5 to 10 years, and this space has been explored, and it's time to move on. And if you're lucky, the best of the era, the best of that moment gets captured in amber and gets played over and over again in TV and movies and radio for the rest of your life. But there's no genre that can survive forever. Like pop culture now in our modern technology media landscape, it goes pretty quick. Like stuff goes really quick now, and there's just also these micro genres. And you're lucky if there's a representation of the classic genre that you love left at all.
Oh yeah.
So if a dog, if someone throws you a bone, you're a dog who got the bone thrown to you in this metaphor that I'm being sloppy with. If you get a taste of something that you like and it's mixed with something else, say thank you. Because it's probably the best taste you're going to get in a while. Like I see this, not just me, but a lot of people see this in the surf rock scene. Can you believe it? Surf rock, a musical genre that's existed for 60 years. There's gatekeeping that exists in it. I played a show a year ago, and there was a bunch of traditional bands that played, and then my band played. And there was one guy on the Facebook chat for the event, on the Facebook group for the event.
Right.
It was like, I was surprised that Dinosaur Ghost didn't sound so good, blah, blah, blah. And they were complaining about us because we all use the same amps. But then I brought on my pedal board and I go for a dirtier sound. I go for a non-traditional sound. And he was complaining about it. And then there was this big debate. And it was like, guys, I think this is funny. This is funny. Like, no one defend my sound. Like, my sound is my sound. I don't care about this, but I think it's funny that people are complaining. But there's people like, there's people in the surf scene who get so gatekeepy that they don't consider like the Ventures a surf band, which sounds crazy, right? To everyone else, that sounds crazy, but every scene has that element.
That's. I mean, so I know kind of like the classic. There is like some delineation that I know you will go hard on for sure. That to the layman, there is not necessarily a distinction between what I'm going to call like surf pop and like surf rock. And by surf pop, what I mean is like is basically reverb washed doo-wop, which is kind of what like basically pre-Pet Sounds the Beach Boys is.
I was
Jan and Dean, right?
Right.
Those are artists that are making their like they were making California R&B.
That's what I was about to call it.
Surf rock.
It was radio music that went along with this huge surf culture explosion. And a lot of it's very good in its own right, but it doesn't the gatekeeping that the surf music scene does is they refuse to call it surf rock.
I'm already out.
I know. You're already out. They call it surf music. And to me, it's so pedantic. Like, I know what you're talking about. Let's not get this worked up about this stuff. But it's all the same stuff. Every genre does this stuff.
What
and
is okay, sorry. Just bear with me. What the
I don't know.
What is surf music is just a thing. Like,
I know.
I feel like you need that specification because surf music can just like, okay, being a Southern Californian in the 90s, right? You'd always talk about like, oh, Tony Hawk Pro Skater and like what it did for skateboarding in the United States and for punk music. But in my head, like just everybody I knew who was a skater, right, was also a surfer, like in Southern California,
or had potential to be,
or in like I said, for where I went to school, pretty much,
right.
There was very little difference between if you were a skater, you were probably also a surfer. Like there was not a difference. So the idea of like surf music, is that just music you listen to when you're on the way to go surfing? Then pop punk is surf music.
Totally.
Right. And I know like obviously pop punk isn't surf music because it's pop punk, but it's just so like surf rock sounds way more specific than like surf music.
It would probably to the gatekeepers, it would probably be more legitimate to call the Beach Boys surf rock than to call them surf music. I'm with you where I classify the singing groups as a Southern California flavor of R&B.
Yeah.
Mixed with pop, mixed with psychedelia later on,
et
cetera, et cetera. But I think it's just safe to call what I call surf instrumentals. Like I feel like that covers the description as much as anyone needs to know. And then I'm not a gatekeeper in that same vein of things. Like I consider the Shadows to be surf instrumentals.
You know what else is surf music, Ryan?
What?
Pink Floyd, because you'd smoke some weed and then while listening to Pink Floyd, and then you would go surfing.
You know what? Like on TikTok and Instagram Reels and stuff like that, there's all these accounts that have footage of people surfing that get fed to me and that I follow and stuff like that. And it drives me nuts when they'll like throw Pink Floyd or like Led Zeppelin. And I know you can do it on TikTok. You can use whatever music you want as long as it's available there. But it drives me nuts. Like what? Like I realize they're trying to appeal to boomers with this.
Yeah.
Like anything else. Like why are you throwing the wall on top of someone surfing? Like,
I mean, I saw when we had the big swells, like it was a month ago. I think the wall is an accurate description of what was hitting.
Okay, all right.
Those 40 footers.
Anyway, so let's circle back to metal. I kind of agree with Nita Strauss. Metal fans they are whiny babies, and they are legitimately, in my experience, what I've observed in real life, personal and on the internet, metal fans are the most sensitive, easily triggered music fandom that there is. There's just a hair trigger on those folks, just for every little detail, for everything. They're so sensitive. It's comical. It's so easy to poke at them and make fun of them and watch their faces turn red if they don't have 2 inches of white grease makeup all over their face. If it wasn't for the clown makeup, you could see them turn red. Is the joke I'm trying to make. What do you have to say, Steve?
I'm just reading through the comments on this article, which I think are also funny. Some of which are because they
pick 3
people have. Okay, here's one. Fat Kid says metal means never having to lie about quality.
What does that mean?
Let's see. Metal God says, never heard her play. I don't do rock music. She's not a metalhead. So apparently her music isn't metal.
Right.
And then we'll throw this one in here from Fuck Your Favorite Band. She's not wrong. Some metal fans are more conformist and uniform-minded than the society they claim to rebel against. And in the same way, these snowflakes cry about their right of having an own opinion when they have none, but blasting others for not agreeing with them or doing things differently. People like this are better off joining a fundamentalist church.
But even this guy is being a little whiny baby.
Yeah.
Like, what are you even complaining about? Like, what are any of you complaining about? Like, just, get over yourselves. You're as bad as the yacht rock people.
Yeah. I think, it's funny because I'm like on the outside
Do
of
reggae
it.
people gatekeep? Are they sitting around going, that's not reggae, man?
I mean, I hope so. Cause like, otherwise, like, yeah. I want to know, if you listen to reggae, what do you think about these two artists, Revolution and Iration? I just want to know your opinion.
right.
Leave it down in the comments.
The moment you were headed down that trail, I was like, okay, yeah, I gatekeep white reggae.
And Eric Clapton. What do you think about Eric Clapton?
Right. I mean, maybe, you know what? I'm coming around. Maybe gatekeeping is just part of the fun.
I think it is.
That's just what we do.
And I think it just depends on like whether or not you recognize it as fun.
Right.
And
the moment you start taking it seriously and you actually start getting angry, you lost.
Like I every once in a while will listen to two artists that in my head are very similar, and I'm probably wrong for at least some people, but those two artists are Ghost.
Okay.
Who Ghost is like Swedish Kiss.
Yeah.
Are they Swedish or Norwegian or whatever? Like
I don't know.
They're and Sleep Token. And I don't know if both of them have been called metal, but at the same time, neither of them are metal.
You know what? Maybe nothing is metal.
What is metal?
Nothing is metal.
Well, so
There's the title. Nothing is metal. Write it down. RJ, clip this. Nothing is metal. If everything is metal, then nothing is metal.
Metal,
I don't know.
I will say metal is one of those genres where like there's so much there's so many subgenres. I think metal has more subgenres than like any other genre.
Is metal like emo where it's not a genre, it's a haircut?
It kind of like, as much as I feel like that's a stab at me.
Well, that's what I said, because you are qualified to agree or disagree.
I think once you get to like probably 2004, that becomes more and more true.
Steve gatekeeps
sure.
his emo.
I'm definitely if it's not associated with the DC hardcore scene, then it's not. No, maybe kind of. I don't know.
But it's part of the fun. Like,
Well,
the gatekeeping is part of the fun. This is how we have fun, organizing our communities around the silly little musics that we like to listen to and we like to make. But I still stand strong on my opinion that the moment you start getting your feelings hurt, the moment you start getting angry, you've lost the game.
Yeah.
Like, you lost.
What I was gonna say is there's like the Metallica reference is apt, I think, because people talk about how the last like 2 or 3 Metallica albums apparently were really bad. I'm not in a position to judge. I don't know.
I wasn't going to listen to him anyway.
Everyone goes back to like just listen to, Master of Puppets over and over again.
It still exists.
And then like my brother-in-law and both of my brothers-in-law are both like big time like hardcore punk fans.
Mm-hmm.
And when I listen to like, there's no way to like be sensitive about this because I don't know enough about the styles of music, but like to me, something like Metallica, which is like what, thrash metal, I think. And again, this is what I'm saying. There's so many subgenres, and like hardcore punk around the same time. The difference is like whether or not they have solos. And then sometimes there's solos in hardcore punk, and I'm like, wait, am I listening to thrash metal now? Like I can't tell the difference. And that's where this thing is like, what actually are we gatekeeping? Is Metallica just a punk band? And there's not actually that much of a difference between punk and metal until you get to like Green Day. Like you have the Ramones, and that's punk, and you have Green Day, and I guess that's punk, and then but you have this whole scene that you're calling punk or hardcore punk or whatever, but it's actually metal. I don't And then you have Metallica is metal, but also Sabbath is metal, and sometimes Jethro Tull is metal because flutes are made out of metal. I'm just very confused, man.
It's like if metal can only be defined in the current moment and everything in the past that was metal can be reconsidered and no longer be metal, then metal isn't actually a genre.
Yeah.
It's not actually a genre of music. Like if music that used to be metal can be disqualified as currently metal, then it was never metal to begin with because metal never existed. It's a haircut. It's a fashion style. It is a group of friends. It is like how you connect your wallet to your pants.
It's not a scene. It's a goddamn arms race. Sorry, all the Fall Out Boy fans for, I think it was last week's episode where I misidentified Joe Troman as the guitar player for My Chemical Romance.
They're not listening.
I should have known. No,
they unsubscribed.
They probably did unsubscribe, but I want to apologize to them anyway. Joe Troman is the guitar player for Fall Out Boy, not My Chemical Romance. I should have known better. Okay. I should have known better.
Okay. But I have no reason to know one way or the other. I don't even know the names of people in the bands that I like.
Okay, gatekeeping. You want to talk about gatekeeping?
I do.
I saw a thread the other day where somebody said, if you don't know the name of the bass player in the band, then they are not your favorite band. And I'm just like, man, I'm just over here listening to music.
I'm trying to remember the name of one bass player in a band that I would consider like one of my top favorite bands, and the only one I can remember right now is Chris Ballou, but he was technically playing a guitar with bass strings.
You know who the bass player in your favorit band is, Ryan?
It's you.
It's me.
Yeah, because Steve and I were in a band called Your Favorite Band, and Steve was the bass player.
Yep, it's true. But yeah, I saw that and I thought about it, and I was thinking of like the bands I listened to and what happens if you're like, oh well, my favorite. If you just broke it down to like artists, right? You're like, oh, my favorite artist is this person. It's like, I don't know who played bass on all those Britney Spears records.
Right.
Like, yeah.
It's kind of just totally fine and okay to just like the music. And like, you don't have to have a whole fan club about it. Yeah, meanwhile, Steve and I have built a whole life around having a fan club for the instruments and every little detail of that.
How hard do you want to go? Like, you're not a real fan of XYZ unless you know the name of the third. You're not okay.
It's the name 3 songs thing. You're wearing the shirt.
R.I.P. David Lynch, but you're not a real David Lynch fan unless you know the names of the key grips in Eraserhead. If you don't know who the best boy was on Eraserhead, you're not a real David Lynch fan.
It's not surprising that David Lynch passed. Like, he was an old man.
Yeah.
But I followed him on social media, and he would, I'm obviously a fan of his works. Mm-hmm. He did some fun movies and some fun other stuff as well. He would do this thing, I think it was on TikTok or Instagram or something like that, where every Friday he would do a little video and he'd be like, it's Friday.
Really?
Yeah. And it always brightened up my day to see David Lynch doing a little short video, letting me know that it's Friday. So I'm a little bummed out that he passed. I don't usually get bummed out when people die, but yeah, I miss David. I hope you're somewhere, I hope it's appropriate for you. But yeah, gatekeeping, whatever. Have fun with it. Just don't get angry or you lost.
Yeah.
That's the game. That's the rules to the game from now on. And feel free to spread that to everyone else that you know. Like, hey, if you got angry over this thing that you're talking about, then you lost the game. Let them know.
I'm never losing a game ever.
You just lost it right now.
Am I angry right now?
No, but the other game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't care about that game. Ryan.
I never cared about the game, and people used to try to make me care about the game. And I was like, I don't know what you're doing, and I'm not interested. So
what do you think about the movie, The Game?
It's actually a lot of fun.
Really good movie.
It's like, it's never as good as the first time though.
Oh, yeah.
Like the first, like I like to show people the game and be there to watch them watch the game for the first time. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to experience the game as a rewatch. You can't just rewatch it on your own.
Sure.
It's one of those spoiler movies, but it stacks spoilers on, not spoilers, twists. It stacks twists on twists.
Yeah.
So it's a fun one. Go watch the game. Michael Douglas?
Yes.
Yes.
And Sean Penn.
And Sean Penn. That's right.
Ryan,
That's right.
I want to gatekeep one more thing.
Okay.
I think you're not a real guitarist unless you own a Chase Bliss pedal.
That's true, Steve. If you're a guitarist, even acoustic,
Yeah.
you never plug into anything, and you don't own a single Chase Bliss pedal.
They're true acoustics. They don't even have electric. They don't even have a pickup
They don't
system
even have electricity in their house.
Yeah. You're living with Hermit Joe. What was that guy's name? The bootlegger.
The
moonshine
guy we talked about him like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. You're living with him. He probably had electricity.
He probably had electricity. Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, go check
If you want to be a real guitarist, and I'm talking a real guitarist,
you
get
need
yourself a Chaseless pedal, like a Habit or a Mood, a Therme, or get yourself a Dark World. Then you'll be a real guitarist. Or you get yourself a clean,
Ryan.
Yeah.
Clean.
I need to learn this thing. I did a video on it.
Yeah, you did.
And it surprised me that it was the clean. I was anticipating the phaser, the womb tone.
Oh, okay.
I was like, it's probably going to be a womb tone. And then I got a compressor. It's like, I am not emotionally prepared to demo this thing right now, but I did my very best. You go watch that video and you're going to see a demo channel guy try his very best in the moment without being prepared.
That's all any of us can do. Okay, I want to go check out Chase Bliss. You just reminded me of something because Justice from FuzzImp posted a screenshot today where somebody made some comment about how like companies that YouTubers are all a bunch of like wannabes who can't play guitar or whatever, and the companies that support these people are like also trash and whatever. And you made the comment like no serious guitarists or no one who's good at guitar or whatever, I forget.
Right.
Would make something, would like post.
No,
I forget exactly
what I was saying is that the people who comment like that are never good guitarists.
Right.
They might think that they're good guitarists, but the good guitarists that I know, they're not out there trashing on people.
Yeah.
They're actually like the most encouraging and supportive people that I've ever met as far as guitar goes. And they can play circles around anyone, and they will encourage everyone to get on stage. That's what I've encountered.
And I did want that, and that was what I was going to say is like in terms of like what you do in kind of the YouTube space, it is interesting to that point that there are these guys who are monster players. Pete Thorne, Tim Pierce, Perfecto. Jay. I talk about
basically
like
if someone's Filipino, they're going to rip on guitar.
Is Pete Thorne Filipino? Yeah.
No, but
RJ
Ronquillo.
But I was thinking about like how a couple of years ago I ran into Perfecto at Pedal Expo, and just the super nicest guy, super encouraging. Like he wants to encourage people to do things and make YouTube videos and do whatever they want, and how like so much of that is missed by audiences because audiences want to compare like one YouTuber to another YouTuber.
I mean, this goes back to
as
gatekeeping.
If it's sports. No, and that's my point is like, there's so much gatekeeping everywhere, and like things, it's fine not to like things, and it's fine to have like reasons not to, but at some point it does feel like with a lot of the gatekeeping, it's really just like you're playing fantasy, like the fantasy sports version of music, where you're like, the new My Chemical Romance album is so much worse than this other one. Like the other one would have scored me 8 points this week, but the new one only scored me 4 points. And that's why I'm not in first place anymore. Like, I don't get it. Ryan.
Yeah, Steve.
This next ad.
It's just the human condition.
This next ad.
Don't we usually do What's New or Patreon or something like that?
Yeah, we'll do it later.
All right.
This next ad was sent by Brian Murphy, and it's called Most Dangerous.
This one's fun. Steve, what's the most dangerous animal you can think of?
Well, it's probably not this. The most dangerous animal I can think of is probably like the mosquito.
You think the mosquito? Oh, like I guess malaria and stuff like that.
Mosquitoes are super deadly.
If you're going to think about, like human lost life
fleas that
across
carry
a year.
fleas that carry the plague.
I mean, bees and hippos are pretty dangerous. But if you had to think about animals that are the most dangerous in popular culture, you're probably going to think
alligators.
All right. Okay.
I think I've died the most times, like of anything besides other people, like NPCs in the game. Probably alligators have killed me more times than anything else in Red Dead Redemption. I get killed by alligators.
I still haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2. I've only played the first one.
No.
I'm so jealous of everyone who's played the second one.
I'm waiting for the price on the first one to drop because they just like released a PC version, like a updated PC.
I don't have an
version.
Xbox anymore. I've only got the Switch.
I think
know,
they
but
have RDR2 for PlayStation.
Yeah, I think they have it for Switch as well, but I don't want to play it on Switch. I don't want to see it in low poly.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
So anyways, this guitar has dangerous animals on it. They're not any of the animals that we listed.
There's a great white shark, it looks
There
like.
are two sharks
Two
on
sharks.
here and a snake. You know
Yeah.
how snakes and sharks are always hanging out together, being dangerous.
This is a custom hand-carved Gibson Les Paul Jr. Hand-cut and carved custom Gibson Les Paul Jr. Sea Serpent laser eye with a twist of a button.
It's a laser? It can't be a
Oh my
laser.
gosh. Plays smooth and slick, stays in tune, perfect intonation, upgraded tuners, pickups, three-way toggle, 2 push-pull tone masters, many different sounds. You'll love it.
You'll love this.
What is this pickup?
There's also a boat and a scuba diver down by the snake. I really wish they had thrown another animal on here. There's 2 sharks. There's 1 gigantic cobra. There's a little boat and a little diver. There needs to be 1 more animal on here.
This is a J. Rogers headstock.
Okay.
I don't think this is. Is the claim that this used to be a Gibson? Or
I
that
don't know.
That is made by J. Rogers Signature Series.
Well, I think he carved it up from something. So maybe it started as an Epiphone or something like that. What would be, so we've got C, we've got a reptile. We need like either a bird or like a mammal. Like what would be dangerous?
Like an eagle?
Maybe, I feel like an eagle's not scary enough. Is there a scary bird? It needs to be a little bit scary.
A scary
We need to represent the whole animal kingdom here. I think there should be a platypus on here, and that can cover the whole animal kingdom.
Or
and
like,
they have that poisonous spike.
Or like
Honestly, I'd take a hippo. If they put a hippo on here, I'd be like, hell yeah, I get it.
are like condors scary?
No, 'cause
vultures.
They wait till you're dead.
Turkeys.
They ain't gonna kill you. They're just waiting for you to die.
It needs a
goose.
freaking Canada goose.
It needs a Canada goose.
Canada goose.
Dude, that would be like so good.
Dude, I'm pretty sure we have Canada geese in Menifee right now.
If this had a Canadian goose on it, I would die. That would be amazing. You've got all of mankind's most feared predators. 2 sharks, a gigantic cobra, and a Canadian geese.
No, that's a sea serpent.
You think it's clearly a cobra?
No, that's why there's so that's the whole thing. This is supposed to be like one of those like sea dragons from like the medieval times.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is, dude.
It's a cobra.
I mean, maybe it looks like a cobra, but then why would there be scuba divers?
Because it's a huge cobra.
This is a freaking Gyarados, man. This is Pokemon.
This thing is insane.
You gotta catch it all. Catch them all.
This person could not pick a theme. I bet they started with the snake and they were like, I kind of want to practice my sharks.
What is this pickup? I want to know what these pickups are.
That's a good question.
It's like they shoved 2 like
It's a quad rail,
it's not,
but they're like staple poles.
yeah, these look like Seymour Duncan. Is it the Lil 59?
It's either something really funky off of AliExpress or it is some vintage weirdo pickup that you'll never figure out.
It is probably something off of like AliExpress,
Right.
or JFS or JFS. But I'm thinking of like one of these things, the like the Little 59,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like they put 2 of them in it.
I don't think that's what it is. Or maybe it is. Maybe they did stack two little 59s.
I don't think they're little 59s. I'm just saying it's like that kind of
pickup. Right.
But then there's only one screw.
I know. Which means they would have had to make a custom mount. Maybe they made the pickup?
I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird.
And the knobs on this are bizarro. They look like they're AI.
They look like they're going in different directions.
They are going in different directions.
I've been watching Arrested Development.
You're saying that you'll never see these knobs again?
If you know, you know. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So, yeah, it's got this.
The pickups say Alnico V on them. I'm betting that these are some sort of AliExpress.
Yeah,
look, they're split. It's two different pickups under there.
Right,
they're cut down the middle.
Like,
look at that little gap. Look at that little gap.
I see it right.
They were meant to be single coil size, and they just shoved them in there, so they have some sort of mount connecting them to one screw. I want to know more about the lore of this snake. This is like a Sci-Fi Channel original movie waiting to happen, like a gigantic cobra that lives in the ocean and attacks boats.
There's a sailboat.
That's what I'm
these
saying.
Guys are on a sailboat.
They're on a sailboat. There's a scuba diver falling out of the sailboat, and the other sailor is falling out of the boat too. And the giant cobra has a laser eye.
That's just an LED, right?
Here's
you can't actually put a laser inside of a freaking guitar.
It's got to be an LED.
You'd be held liable for murder and stuff.
You'd burn someone's retinas out.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the story, Steve. Here's the Sci-Fi.
Tell me the story.
Saturday afternoon original movie.
Yeah.
Boat scientists are out there. They're not scientists who study boats. They're scientists on boats. They're out there in the water doing their science on their boats. Oh my God. We've discovered a giant sea cobra. Mm-hmm. Giant sea cobra is causing problems for everyone. People are dying. It's attacking the city. It's attacking helicopters and planes and submarines. It's a disaster. But who's to the rescue?
The sharks.
The sharks. The sharks are on our side this time. The sharks come in and they help fight giant cobra. It writes itself.
This is like the plot of like Sharknado 5.
Right. And then
or 6 or whatever number they're on.
Right. This time the sharks fight the tornado and help mankind.
Well, no,
but in this case, the tornado is a giant cobra.
The sharks use the power of tornado to fight. They form the. I don't.
Maybe
how does that work? Is there a tornado that like pulls the sharks out of the water? Do the sharks just swim so fast it creates a tornado?
Forget about tornadoes. I want to care about the snake.
Okay,
let's
talk about the snake.
What if the sharks get super, super smart because something the scientists did? And the sharks get so smart from the scientists injecting them with a serum or pouring something in the water, et cetera, et cetera. Sure. You know how these things happen. Yeah. That the sharks themselves become scientists. And the sharks build a shark lab underneath the ocean. And the sharks genetically engineer a gigantic cobra. Ooh. And they unleash the giant cobra on mankind. And so now you've got hyper intelligent sharks versus regular intelligent humans versus humongous cobra.
Hold on. Isn't this just the plot of Alien versus Predator?
Whoever wins, we lose. And then they made a guitar about the movie.
Oh my gosh. If you enjoy nonsense content like this, and you want to support this show, head on over to patreon.com/60cyclehumcast, where you can support for as little as $1 a month or as much as $10 a month, like this person did. Gibus Gang. I don't know. But they did shout us out on Guitar Circle.
No, we're not supposed to mention that subreddit anymore.
We're not?
A couple of the mods have asked me not to promote the subreddit anymore because the last time we did that, a bunch of people joined, and they don't want people to join.
Oh, sorry.
Close one, guys.
Go join the 60 Cycle Hum subreddit.
Yes, go join over there. We need more people.
Nothing happens there.
Nothing happens ever. But you're welcome to do whatever the hell you want.
Well, I wouldn't say whatever.
If you got kicked out of our guitar for asking a simple question and you don't understand what happened, go over to 60 Cycle Hum.
Complain about it.
Make it the group you want it to be. I'll say that.
Yep.
Do whatever you want as long as it's not like pornographic or irresponsibly illegal or something like that, go have some fun over there. Prank me.
Right.
Post stuff that you think I wouldn't want to see. I don't know.
Ryan, you got anything new?
I do have a little story.
Oh.
So I took my family to the beach a while back, a few days ago, last weekend. And then afterwards, my family was like, we're hungry, we're hungry, we're hungry. I'm starting this story the way you tell stories, by telling 3 stories leading up to it. So long story short, Steve's story short, I took them to Pizza Port in Solana Beach.
Okay.
And I order the pizzas, and I go up to order some beers because they have separate counters.
Yeah.
And I order the beer that I want. And then the bar manager slides up, and he's like, I know you. I was like, uh-oh. He's like, I watch your guitar videos, your 60 cycle hum. And I was like, you caught me. And he's like, you want another one? It's like, I had just ordered a beer, and the bar attendant was pouring it for me. And I was like, yeah, I'll take another one. So he's like, ring him up for the first one, but I'll give him the second one for free. And she was like, yes, boss. But I got a free beer for existing. And, I don't consider myself to be a famous person. Like, this is a very niche sort of thing that we do here. And every now and then I get recognized on the street by someone. It probably happens 4 times a year or whatever. But that was pretty good. That felt pretty slick, getting a free beer at the pizza joint. And then I get to hold it up like a trophy to my family. Like, you see this? You see this beer? This was free because I make YouTube videos.
I mean, in a very technical sense, wasn't the meal also paid for by YouTube videos?
Yeah.
But I guess that wasn't, the food wasn't
free. But also a thing I do whenever that happens. Well, becoming an adult, you end up becoming friends with all sorts of random people.
Sure.
And so over the years, I've been friends with people who either own or work at restaurants. Anytime I get a meal comped or get anything like that, I always turn it into a tip.
Yeah.
So it's like I was standing right there, like he's standing right there, the waiter is standing right there, and she hands me the second beer, and I slid $10 into the tip jar. So it's like they got more out of me, but It's like I don't like business owners to be like, oh, here's a gift, and then the waiter sits standing there, the help gets nothing out of the arrangement. I like to turn it into a generous tip.
And I don't know why you didn't turn that into a Pizza Port sponsorship, but hey, whatever.
Well, I was having the thought like, hey, if the bar manager over here is friendly, maybe we should have an event or something.
Yeah, for sure.
They got good pizza over there.
They do.
I don't go there enough.
Their taps are pretty good too. The last time I was there.
Yeah, and they brew on site too.
I didn't know they brew on site.
Yeah, they got the stuff over there to do it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I thought they had all that stuff up in Carlsbad, but anyway.
No, the Solana Beach one it's small, but they have them in there. They have the big stills in there.
Yeah,
nice. It's interesting. Yeah, cool. And then like Henry and I, we played a Deer Hunter.
Nice.
Yeah. And Henry actually got a couple bucks. And then there was a kid playing before me who's playing Terminator, because they have a whole arcade situation going over there. The kid was playing the Terminator setting on it, and then his lives ran out, and so he walked away all deflated. I was like, well, I'm going to jump on his game, so I fed my quarters in, and I started blasting Terminator robots, and the kid came back literally 2 minutes later with a handful of quarters, like, I was going to keep playing. I was like, your time would have been out by now, dude.
Yeah.
I'm playing your level for you, but like, it would have started over. Like, I'll be done in a minute.
Yeah. You don't want to start at the beginning. Yeah. You are actually doing him a favor.
You know what? I took out a decent chunk of Skynet. I'll say that.
Nice.
I feel pretty accomplished.
Congratulations.
My arm got tired blowing up robots. So anyways, there's my what's new. Is that important or interesting to anyone?
No.
I got a free beer and it made me feel good.
I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Do you have anything new?
Yeah, I got some socks.
Oh, here we go. All right, you got to outdo me. You got to outdo everything that I do.
Pirate skull pedal socks from Analog Music Company.
Fun. They're pink, Steve. Did you notice that?
They are pink.
We're bound to get at least one comment from someone who's like, "Oh, Barbie socks, huh?"
I mean, they're pretty light pink. Actually, I didn't post. Yeah, I almost posted a picture on Instagram that said I got these Ryan skin tone pink socks from Analog Music Company. I think it's he. I don't really know a lot about the company. Is based in Ukraine.
Ah,
and this was like the cheapest thing in their store because he went through, I think either, I don't know if it was his building or a building near him got blown up.
Oh.
And so it was just kind of like, hey, can you help me out buy? And he was like, the cheapest thing in my store is socks. So I don't know a lot about his pedals. He seems like a pretty, based on the people I saw that I respect who follow his account, I was like, it seems like this guy's pretty legit. So I bought some socks. One of the socks says skulls up, tyranny down, which is a very piratey theme. And the other one says blacklisted in the UK. And I don't really know what the story behind that is. Something about getting in a fight with somebody who told him like, I know a lot of store owners in the UK and I'll make sure you never sell pedals there ever again or something, which seems
what
like
a weird flex.
It seems like a shit. Like, can you imagine if like a company wronged us and we were like, we're going to get you kicked out of Sweetwater, which we totally could not do.
No,
but it's just like, or like, we're going to get you kicked out of Pitbull Audio, or like, I don't know. Like I don't know what was.
But that circles back to like good guitar players don't leave shitty comments about other people's guitar playing. People who actually have influence in an industry don't go around saying stuff like that. That's something someone who's insecure, who doesn't have any real power, goes around saying.
Yeah, I don't
like, oh, I'm going to like blah, 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 blah. Okay, Karen.
Yeah.
So you can call the Better Business Bureau and get Albertsons shut down? Sure.
I don't really know what the story is, but I've kind of broken into wearing athletic socks mostly when I'm actually like just around the house. And so I like to wear like crew socks that have some kind of fun pattern on them for work and stuff. So these are perfect.
I feel like there's
Analog Music Company.
No sock that I've ever actually liked.
That's fair.
Every sock that I've ever owned is lacking in some way. I should probably design the ideal sock for myself.
I mean, if I'm not about to put on shoes, or if my feet aren't cold, I don't wear socks.
But like every sock I've ever had, I put on a shoe or I walk around barefoot and there's a problem. You know, like there's no, do you guys know of a perfect sock? Tell me about your perfect socks in the comment section. I want to know what qualifies as a perfect sock, because I haven't found it yet.
You should make a video, like this could be Patreon funded content, where it's just you, like it's like a think piece where you're talking about what you don't like about modern socks and like all the things that you would change, and then crowdsource like, hey, can you guys help me find a sock that meets all of these criteria?
There was a video series
It'd be like a 5-minute video. It'd be fun.
I was like testing out years ago called Rants and Riffs. I did like 2 or 3 of them where like it was just me riffing and playing through some gear.
Yeah.
And then there would be breaks and I would just rant about something. There was one where like ranting about how everyone should start using chopsticks for more things, like chopsticks for salad, chopsticks for popcorn.
Sure.
You know, it makes sense. But it was this concept. I just wanted to try it to see if it would work. And then it didn't really work. And like, I wasn't having that much fun. So I stopped doing it.
Well, thanks, Ryan.
It's fun to try things
for
though.
That little piece of information.
But it could have been a Rants and Riffs.
Yeah.
You know,
this last ad was sent by Mark DeBruyne.
this is a good one.
He says,
Here we go.
Here's an ad for a one-piece Alder guitar body. One-piece Alder guitar body. Zeftel Qualiet Alls in the Top Jaren von Fender. Comje Wenig Tegen. So I think what this person is saying, this
Mark does have a translation for you.
No,
Steve.
hold on. Let me try to translate
All right,
it first, and then we'll see what Mark says. It says 125 euro. I think it's saying this is a top quality piece of wood like Fender would use. And I have no idea what the last part is.
All right, you got pretty close. Same quality as in Fender's golden years. You don't come across these often.
Oh, okay.
Not bad. You got pretty close.
It is a plank of alder.
Yeah. That's it. It's just a piece of wood. Nothing else to let you know how old it is, if it came from a special tree. But here it is, a piece of wood. This is top quality, guys, like what Fender would have used back when Fender was using good wood. Here it is. What guitar would you want to see cut out of this, Steve? What is this piece of wood screaming at you? Because it was grown to be a guitar. You can tell just by looking at it. This is a top quality, just like Fender would have used in his golden years. But what guitar does it want to be? Clearly,
like, is it even like, I'm looking at this grain pattern and I'm like, I don't actually know if you could, like, I don't know if you would want a translucent finish with this. Like,
well, it's got that little bit of like, not a knot, but a little bit of a warble in there.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
got a couple of them. It's got like maybe something up here.
Yeah, yeah.
We need a what's it, telestrator, like John Madden.
Oh, okay, yeah. You want to draw an overlay over.
I want to
it.
drop the play X's and O's. I want to see those offensive linemen run.
Well, do we want to lean into those little imperfections and have them be highlighted, or do we want to cover it all up? You know, because you could sneak that little knot to be cut out of the neck heel. And then that little bit of wave there could be in the waist of like a Jazzmaster or something like that, or a Jaguar.
I think you're visualizing this a lot better than I can. I think for this, you know, I'm thinking some kind of like butterscotchy telly situation, maybe.
You know what? I bet you could cut 2 Duosonics out of this.
Well, it doesn't even say how big this is.
I know. It's just like, here it is, piece of wood.
Like you couldn't
build your own guitar kit.
Like you couldn't bother to put like a banana on here or something so we can know how big it is. Maybe a can of Coke.
So is that price 125 euros?
125 euros.
I feel like that's expensive.
Yeah,
without them telling us anything about it, I feel like that's an expensive piece of wood.
I feel like I could get a no-name alder body for 125 euros.
Even if it was like this quality, Steve?
This is quality that matches Fender's golden years.
We can't even see how thick it is.
No.
We're missing an entire dimension.
You might have to like cut this in half and then fold it over and then, you
might have to soften it up and roll it up like a Yule log.
Yeah. Maybe this is actually for an acoustic guitar and you just have to like get it.
That changes everything.
Yeah. You have to like use the heater, like spray bottle to like bend it around the frame. Do they make alder?
We don't know the dimensions. We don't know the tonal qualities of this. It hasn't been plucked yet. This is worthless.
This ad needs to have a recording where the guy like just has it like he holds it and then he just
yeah.
Paul Reed Smith could tell you.
Play it like a triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I wish that I could build guitars because I would do stuff like that to do a video. I'd be like, which one should I use? Boom, ding. And then people would be like, oh, definitely use the dong one. And then
definitely use the dong one.
And I'm not going to use the ding one. And
Ryan wants that dong.
I want the D.
They're both, dog and ding are both D words.
Then I would build both of them, and then we get to find out the difference between dong and ding in guitar wood selection.
Yeah.
Oh, this one, it strums. The dong one strums like strong, and the ding one strums like strung. Like it's totally different. I don't know. But okay, which one do you think won, Steve? Would you buy that plank? I'm not buying that plank.
I would not buy that plank.
I'm not buying that plank.
That is a buy. Goodbye.
I think it should be $15, and I think someone should, if it's not appropriate for a guitar, they should use it as a cutting board.
I think if it was $50, it would at least kind of be interesting.
Oh, hold on. Back up, bud. I said 15.
I know you said 15. I'm saying like, I think the top where this is like an interesting thing where I'd be like, oh, maybe a luthier might be into that. It's like $50. I don't know. I don't know how much wood costs.
What is wood even worth?
How much is a freaking alder blank?
I can go to Home Depot, buy a 2x4 for like $4.
Yeah. Oh, I never connected to Bluetooth.
All right. Which one do you think won, Steve? We've got the Gibson Challenger, we've got the Most Dangerous, and we've got the Plank. I had the most fun talking about the Most Dangerous. The big cobra and the sharks.
I am also thinking Most Dangerous.
All right. Congratulations, Brian Murphy. You won. And what did you win? You won a $25 digital gift certificate printed on heavy virtual cardstock that Steve is going to email to you once he finds out the fast food establishment or retailer of your choice. And anyone can win. All they have to do is email us the ridiculous Reverb, the egregious eBay, the crazy Craigslist ads that you find throughout the week. Just email them to us.
The gratuitous goodwill.
Gratuitous goodwill.
The whatever site in the Netherlands that Mark always sends us ads from.
Cringy Kiji. Extreme Gear Exchange. All of them.
Oh, I still need this to play the song.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
So yeah, tell us about the song, Steve.
This week's song was sent by Ben Novak. It says song for end of episode / shameless podcast plug. Here's a song for the end of the hey Ryan, Steve, and Brian. Here's a song for the end of the episode. It's a pretty short one, so maybe it can go on an episode that runs a little long. Everything's been running a little long lately. This is actually intro outro music I did for my friend's podcast. They wanted a ska vibe, which typically isn't my genre, but I had a lot of fun making it. Used various drums loops and sax samples, a whammy down an octave for the bass, and a EHX C9 organ machine pedal for the organ part. Guitar used was my trusty Fender Jaguar Special. Quick plug for my friend's podcast, if I may. It's called Pour Her a Beer.
All right.
It's an all-female hosted podcast where each episode they pick a different type of beer, and each of the 4 hosts brings their choice of beer for that type. They just launched, so they only have a few episodes so far, trying to get it off the ground. It's really fun.
A podcast where ladies are drinking.
Educational to show that I suspect has some overlap in listenership with your guys' show.
I like the sounds of that.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun podcast, and I'll definitely try to remember to put a link down below since I think that's the most appropriate thing to link to.
Totally. That's the way to do it, I think.
Here's the Pour Her a Beer podcast theme.
Super fun theme. Nice and short. The names were just scrolling crazy fast, weren't they?
Yeah, they'd have to be.
It was fun to play along, even though I couldn't hear myself and Steve couldn't hear himself. We were just pantomiming, really. Pantomiming is what we were doing.
Pantomiming?
So either this episode launched well after NAMM or it launched the Monday directly after NAMM, whatever. But stay tuned or hope you enjoyed our after NAMM episode. All right. Bye, everybody.
Stay grounded.